Injustice has plagued the criminal justice system for decades, with countless individuals falling victim to wrongful convictions. Among those trapped behind bars was James Carter, a man who had spent over 20 years imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. His story, one of perseverance, hope, and redemption, eventually caught the attention of President Donald Trump. What followed was an extraordinary effort to correct a grave miscarriage of justice and restore a man's stolen freedom. James Carter was a hardworking father of two living in Atlanta, Georgia. He had built a modest but fulfilling life, working as a mechanic and mentoring local youths in his community. However, his world came crashing down when he was accused of armed robbery and murder in 1998. Despite his alibi and lack of physical evidence linking him to the crime, the prosecution built a case based on the testimony of a single unreliable witness. Within months, James was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The years that followed were filled with despair. James maintained his innocence, filing appeal after appeal, only to face rejection at every turn. His family never stopped fighting for his release, hiring lawyers and reaching out to advocacy groups. But the judicial system seemed immovable, and James began to lose hope that justice would ever be served. He often lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling of his prison cell, wondering if he would ever breathe free air again. The loneliness, the heartbreak of missing his children grow up. These were wounds that cut deeper than any physical pain. He found solace in reading and writing letters to his family. His mother, despite her age, never missed a single visiting day. His children, once babies when he was imprisoned, were now grown adults, struggling to understand how their father could have been taken from them by a broken system. The pain of missing their birthdays, graduations, and milestones was immeasurable. James's case gained new attention when a journalist named Lisa Reynolds from the Washington Sentinel began investigating wrongful convictions. She uncovered serious flaws in James's case, including prosecutorial misconduct and the existence of exculpatory evidence that had been suppressed. Lisa's exposé sparked outrage, and soon organizations such as the Innocence Project took up James's case. Despite the overwhelming evidence in his favor, legal battles continued to drag on. It was clear that something more was needed. Someone with the power to bypass bureaucratic red tape and take direct action. That's when James's family and advocates turned to an unlikely source, the President of the United States. Through tireless efforts, James's supporters managed to get his story in front of President Donald Trump. Known for his willingness to engage in criminal justice reform, Trump had already taken steps to rectify injustices through the First Step Act. Influential figures, such as Kim Kardashian and Van Jones, who had previously worked with Trump on clemency cases, brought James's case to his attention. When Trump first heard about James's case, he was reportedly struck by the injustice of it all. He was known for his strong opinions on law and order, but he also had a deep sense of fairness. Trump believed in second chances, especially when someone had been wronged by the system. He often spoke about how America should be a place of opportunity, not oppression. As he pored over James's case files, he saw an opportunity to make things right. During a private meeting with his advisors, Trump reportedly asked, "How can a man sit in prison for over 20 years with this much evidence proving he's innocent?" He made calls, consulted legal experts, and personally reviewed the documents. "This is unacceptable," he declared. "We're going to fix this." With mounting political and legal pressure, Trump made the decisive move to grant James a full pardon. He wanted to ensure that James's story was heard and that the nation understood the importance of justice being served. In a nationally televised event at the White House, Trump stood beside James, his family, and legal team, declaring that justice had finally been served. "Today, we right a terrible wrong," Trump said, looking directly into the cameras. "James Carter is an innocent man, and he should have never spent a day behind bars. This is what justice looks like." Tears streamed down James's face as he embraced his family for the first time as a free man. The room erupted in applause, symbolizing not only his personal victory, but also a triumph for justice. Trump placed a reassuring hand on James's shoulder, telling him, "You have a new beginning now. Make the most of it." James fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the moment. After so many years of being shackled, he was free. His mother, frail but strong, whispered through her tears, "I never stopped believing." Adjusting to life outside was not easy. James had lost over 2 decades, and the world had changed dramatically. But with the support of his family, advocacy groups, and even members of Trump's administration, he began to rebuild his life. He received financial assistance, job training, and counseling to help him transition back into society. Determined to make his experience meaningful, James became an advocate for criminal justice reform. He worked with organizations to push for policy changes, ensuring that no one else would have to endure what he had suffered. He met with legislators, attended speaking engagements, and used his voice to bring attention to the flaws within the justice system. He even had the opportunity to sit down with Trump once more in a private meeting where he thanked him personally for his intervention. Trump responded, "James, you're proof that America is about redemption. I hope you inspire others." Donald Trump's intervention in James's case was a testament to his administration's commitment to justice reform. While his tenure was often polarizing, stories like James's highlighted the compassionate side of his leadership. Under Trump's watch, numerous individuals received clemency, including Alice Marie Johnson, a grandmother serving a life sentence for a non-violent drug offense. Trump's efforts in criminal justice reform were not without controversy. Critics argued that his actions were selective and politically motivated. However, for James and countless others who received a second chance, Trump's willingness to intervene meant everything. Trump himself often pointed to cases like James's as proof that his administration cared about justice and second chances. James Carter's story serves as a powerful reminder that justice is not always guaranteed, but must be fought for relentlessly. Thanks to the unwavering support of his family, advocates, and ultimately President Donald Trump, James was able to reclaim his life. His journey from wrongful imprisonment to freedom underscores the importance of continued efforts in criminal justice reform. As James often says in his speeches, "I lost 20 years, but I gained a purpose, and for that, I am forever grateful." The impact of his release resonates beyond his own life, inspiring hope in others who remain unjustly imprisoned. And while political debates may rage on, one undeniable truth remains: when justice prevails, society as a whole wins.